Drop dick coming, 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 drop dick coming. Lift it up, give it up, that bounce, move, fuck, nigga, watch you, my nigga, no good, ain't nothing but so good. Trick that in the house, Mr. Stuff, watch your mouth, B-E-R-C, and go to the
I like my old.
What's going on, y'all? It's Jalen Foreman, you with the HBCU Creative Cohort. I would like to introduce my fam. What's going on?
It's your girl, Phoebe. From Georgia State. Hey.
Hey, y'all. I'm Chrissy, a proud Southern Belle, a graduating senior at the illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
Hey, y'all. It's Asia. I'm from Clark Atlanta University.
And I'm Mike from the Morris Brown College.
Let's go.
This is Jade with Georgia Film Academy.
This is TJ representing the Morris Brown College, one and only.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and I do go to Clark Atlanta University. That's who I rep for real, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I would love to introduce my special guest.
That's me, y'all. That's me. I'm your girl, Christina Granville, a.k.a. Miss Basketball, and B.K.A. As his professor, Professor G, from
G.
Morris Brown College.
Professor G.
Hey. Shout out to our former Ms. Morris Brown also. Our creative director. That's
a lot of legends in the building.
Yes, that's our creative director, y'all.
Yes. So she's the reason why y'all here.
Yeah, she brought us on here.
And guess where she's from?
Morris Brown. Mm-hmm. So, for your first question, I would like to ask, so outside of Miss Basketball, who is Christina Granville?
Oh, wow.
The government.
Oh, the government, the real government. Outside of Miss Basketball, Christina Granville is the same exact person. What I've just been able to do with the brand Miss Basketball is literally just be a light and be myself in whatever space that I'm in, and now I get paid for it. So Miss Basketball is just a brand. It's just the umbrella over Christina Granville. I'm outgoing. I am outspoken. I am full of energy. I love people. I love life. And I just like being able to just do that and really be my own boss. So that's literally who Christina is outside of Miss Basketball. They the same person.
Amen.
Just different names for branding purposes.
Literally.
I love that.
So I just wanted to say a few years ago, I seen you in a celebrity basketball game and you did your thing. Okay. My question is, how did you start and when did you start the brand for Miss Basketball?
Oh, wow. How did I start? Since I was little, there's a video my sister sent me a couple weeks ago, and I had a mic. And I was, my name, Christina, and I'm here to say, and I was rapping, and I didn't even think of this. But as I look now and I look back, I was like, this was in me since I was a baby. This was in me since I was little. Like, it was destined for me to be a person who loved to entertain people. I started Miss Basketball literally like, that's a long time ago. My age away. Needing a name for MySpace. Y'all got MySpace?
Yes.
Y'all ain't got MySpace.
We have words falling down.
Y'all ain't got MySpace.
At the end of the era.
Yeah, that's the end of the era. So I needed a name for MySpace and Facebook at the time when you could only use your college email to get on Facebook, and on MySpace you needed a really dope, catchy name. So I was like, well, I know I play basketball. At the time, I was really, really girly. I had my nails done, my hair done, and at the time, I was like one of the only few girls that actually wore like makeup and nails and lashes whenever they play basketball, because it was like, you don't do that. That's not the stereotypical thing that basketball players do. But now, of course, we've seen it blossom into something beautiful that I'm just so excited about. So I needed a name for MySpace, and I said, well, when I get old, I'm gonna marry me a basketball player, so I might as well just go ahead and be Miss Basketball, because I love basketball and I'm a lady, and I'm gonna be a basketball wife, right? That's gonna be my life. So that name turned into something that I had no idea it would turn into. Like, if somebody would have told me this when I was little, that Miss Basketball would literally be a name that people would call me, and that this name would take me all over the world, I was like, y'all lying, quit playing, y'all. But it has turned into an amazing brand, and I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful because I've been able to do so many amazing things with that name, Miss Basketball.
I love it.
Come on, Miss Clark.
I just want to say, I feel like we already have a connection because I'm so big on Black empowerment and how you carry yourself. You know, being that girl, like playing ball. You can be pretty in hoops.
Come on now.
I'm glad that you made them know that don't play with you.
Don't play with me at all.
But my question would be, period. Like Lola said, don't play with it.
Don't play with it, don't play with it.
My question is, how has your voice changed the 2K League?
Oh, wow. I love the 2K League. Shout out to all my 2K League fam. Our season starts tonight, so make sure you tune in. But I think the voice in the 2K League, honestly, for me, I feel like I've made an impact just by being authentic, right? You have so many people that come into the industry of esports or that come into the league and they want to look like somebody else. They want to be somebody else, or they feel like they have to be somebody else, especially when it comes to people of color. This is a league that you see a lot of, let's just be honest, you see a lot of white people. You don't see too many black people, but I always give statistics. 83% of African American millennials play video games, but only 2% at the time that I got in are like in the actual gaming industry. Now it's 4% of people of color that are in this in this esports industry that is a $1 billion industry. So it's like, I want to make sure that I'm authentic as possible so that other people that look like me can understand how they can come and have a voice and be themselves authentically in the same league. Like there honestly was no somewhat position for me to fill when I got with the NBA 2K League. They literally created a position for me. They gave me my own entire show. So I've been so blessed to be able to honestly just be in a space of like, you know what, I just want to be authentically me. I just want to make sure that I am honestly, what happened?
No, I just got a common question.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, what I do? I just want to make sure that I'm just adding as much value and opening up other opportunities for people that look like me, because there's probably some women or some young girls that are like, well, I can't do it because I don't look like a gamer, or I can't do it because I don't know how to play games. Baby, I don't know how to play either. I played when I was younger, but because I'm in this space now, I have a voice. I want to encourage and expose and just encourage people, especially young girls that look like me, and say, hey, it's okay. Whatever it is that you want to do in the world of NBA 2K League, you can do it. So if you want to do hair, you want to do makeup, you want to be a host, which that's what I am, there's room for you to do that and excel and be great. So I think that I have literally inspired a group of people, not just Black, but white people as well, to see the value in us, to say, hey, you know what, I want to create a job for you. I don't have a position, but we're going to create something for you because we see how true you are to yourself, we see how authentic you are, and we need that in our league. So
I love it. Keep building your empire.
Thank you.
I love it too because you answered my question. It was just basically, how did your wisdom and your voice change the 2K League to what it is today?
Yeah, that's so. I feel like I answered it, but I'm gonna add on to it. Okay, because I add on to it because I can talk. It's really just all about like in whatever space that you're in, not just in the 2K League because I do so many other things. It is honestly about being authentic.
Yes.
Being you. Do you know how hard it is to be somebody else? Do you know how hard it is to try to keep a lie going? You got to figure out more clever ways. You be like, I got to say something else. I got to figure something out. But when you're just authentically you can walk in a room and just be like, I ain't got to force nothing. I ain't got to do nothing. Everything will just come to you. And that's literally have been if I had to write a book, that's literally been me. Like everything that God has blessed me with, I have fell in alignment and it's just happened. It wasn't one of those things to where I was like, oh God, if you do this for me, Lord, get me out of this pickle. Or Lord, if you make me like this person, or if you make me look like them, or if you give me the job they got. It has always been, Christina, you walk in your purpose and you be you. 100% you, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart. And matter of fact, I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to give you what you thought you didn't deserve and show you how amazing you are. And that's literally been my life. And I want other people to see that and understand that that can happen for you too. Like God will do that for you. When you believe in yourself and you understand the calling that's on your life and the purpose that we're here to be servants and to work with each other and work for each other. Baby, it ain't no competition. I ain't seen no competition yet. Who better than me?
Nobody.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just nobody, baby. Like, and that's not no way to be cocky. You know, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, be humble." Be meek. No, I'm not about to be meek about what God is doing in my life. Right. I'm not about to be meek about like, oh, you can't be talking about your wins. Yes, I can.
Right.
If you knew how hard I had to get here, because everybody will not like you for who you are.
That's so true.
Yes.
Everybody won't be rocking with what you got.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, to add on to that, yeah, cause it's the saying my mama always told me, like, no colorism or nothing like that. But my mom was like, she kind of fair skinned, and she always say people always told her she thinks she all that, and she always she said I ain't never thought none of that. I always knew. So it's like you said, like I know I'm what I possess. I know what I got going on. Like you that girl, like.
And you gotta have that confidence about yourself because there's so many different outside factors going on. Honestly, because energy is transferable.
Yes.
And you have people that will come into your life or come around you and drain your energy, and then they will play mind tricks on you to where you're second guessing how valuable you are. So you have to literally be like, whoo, God, when I walk in this room, I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna build this bubble around. Because every time I go, it's like, girl, you always in a good mood. You doggone right. I ain't finna let y'all. Because y'all ain't gonna put that bad heebie-jeebie all on me. Because then I go home and I'm crying trying to figure out why the world I feel like this. Because I allow somebody to change my energy. But when you are who God say you are, and you own it and you walk with some authority, can't nothing nobody tell you. You're gonna have that confidence about yourself. And it won't always be Sunday. Let's keep it real. It ain't gonna always be those good days. But at the end of the day, you already know, like, all right, tomorrow gonna be better, bro.
Yeah.
Today was a bad day. Y'all got me. I'm gonna cry right now. I'm gonna go ahead and cry. But tomorrow, I'm on y'all head. I'm on y'all head.
You bit me a little bit. You didn't break me though.
Exactly. So that's what I feel like I've been able to do for the 2K League, and just hearing people walk up to me, random people from the league, just saying like, hey, I love your energy. I love how authentic you are. I understand that now I'm opening up the doors for people to be themselves in an industry that may feel like they have to be somebody else.
I love it.
Love that.
Okay, so you kind of answered my question. So I'm just gonna pivot a little bit.
Come on, let's pivot.
Gonna pivot. How did you handle not being able to play college your first year in not being able to play basketball in your first year of college?
Oh, how did I handle that? That was a little tough. Because honestly, at the time, I didn't understand what God was doing in my life. Like, I'm gonna just keep it all the way 100. When I went to college, I had a full scholarship to play basketball and run track. So I was in a small town. I'm from Clewiston, Florida. It's the sweetest town in America, but it's small as all outdoors. It's a real small rural area. And I went to a school 20 minutes outside of that city called Glade Central. It's the MUC. They produce nothing but athletes. So at the time, I'm like, all right, so I gotta be good. Y'all want me to come to y'all school all the way in Kansas? I'm real good. Mind you, I ain't never been nowhere. I didn't know anything about, at the time, I didn't know anything about like HBCUs, like how amazing it is to go and the benefits to go to an HBCU, which I wish I would have known. But I didn't know at the time, because when you don't know the information, you don't know the information. So I was ignorant to HBCUs. I was ignorant to so many other colleges around that when they offered me a scholarship, and I had a couple other offers, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to Kansas. I gotta get up out of here. I went all the way to Kansas. I drove 24 hours in my 1994 Honda Civic, and thinking that I was gonna play basketball because I'm up there with the confidence. Y'all recruited me. And then to hear him say I'm not good enough to play college basketball, it did something to my ego. Because I'm like, yo, you got me all the way in Kansas. I'm 7 miles away from Little House on the Prairie. Are you kidding me right now? What y'all want me to do? I can't go back. Cause I've been playing basketball since I was young. I was on varsity since I was on 9th grade. Like, y'all playing in my face, bro. And I know at the time, I'm like, I know I'm better than her. I know I'm better than her. But honestly, when fast forward, I really wasn't. I really wasn't that good at basketball. I was just athletic. You ever met somebody that's real athletic?
Yeah.
That was me. Nobody had took the time to teach me how to play basketball. But because from the area that I'm at, we breed nothing but athletes. This is just what we do all day. There's nothing else to do. Either you an athlete, or you probably gonna be pregnant, or you. I mean, that's the area. I mean, just keeping it real. That's the area that I came from. Nobody really leaves from that area unless you're an athlete. You barely hear success stories come from that area. They even did a 30 for 30 on our area on ESPN. That's how the conditions were back then. So I was like, bro, how you gonna do me like this? Like how you gonna do this to me? But at the time, it was a blessing in disguise, because I needed that rejection to push me into something greater that I could have never even imagined. So even though, I didn't get a chance to play my first year, baby, fast forward 5 years later, I'm starting at a whole new school at the age of 25. I went back to school at the age of 25 after not playing basketball for 4 years, because somebody believed in me. Somebody said, you know what? I want to get you back into college. Give me 3 days. In 3 days, this man had 5 schools ready to give me full scholarships to go back to play college basketball, which I hadn't picked up a professional or organized basketball in 4 years.
That's amazing.
So it's been a blessing, right? And I'm like, even though I didn't play that first year, I've been able to do so many amazing things after being rejected and told, okay, you ain't good enough to play college basketball. Because somebody saw the good in me and to teach me how to play, to where I went back at 25 and got a full scholarship, was the captain of the basketball team, and was on flyers at the school. So it all works out for my good, and I'm happy that it did happen, because I was lit.
That girl.
It taught me to get through some adversity, boy. It'll make you better when you go through stuff. When you're going through it, it's like, man, God, why would you do this to me? Why me? And then after you get through it, you look back at it, you be like,
Thank you.
bruh, you know what? I'm so happy I went through that, because now I know how to attack other situations, because they're going to come. Like, the attack's going to come. People going to say stuff. Things are going to happen. But it's how you move forward. It's how you deal with it. It's how you get through it. I'm grateful that it happened, because, baby, if it didn't happen, I don't know where I would have been at.
What advice can you give to those who believe in your story but they don't think others will believe in theirs?
Don't be like me. For so long, like growing up, I was the class clown. I was voted class clown. I was most talkative. My teachers always wrote me up, talking about I talk too much. And fast forward to now, I'm about to be 38. I know you know that. I'm about to be 38, and now I'm being paid to talk. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have to make sure I continue to tell that story, because there may be somebody else who may be that same student in class that talk too much, that may be the class clown, that want attention, that feel like, you know, they gotta do X, Y, and Z. You really don't. But
She
share
ain't
your
lying,
story.
y'all.
Share your story. Somebody needs to hear it. That's what we're put on earth to do, is to make sure we're sharing our story and that we're encouraging one another to say, hey, you're not alone. You're not by yourself. You're not by yourself either. I know you may not feel like today is one of those days, but it's okay. It's all right. Keep going. And whatever your story is, there is somebody that can relate to it. I have so many stories, because God has been good to me. He has taken me through some of the craziest situations that I thought I would never get out of. But it's important that I continue to share those stories, because somebody may be dealing with the same exact thing, about to give up. And they may see me somewhere, or they may hear my story somewhere. And you say, you know what, because of her, I'm not gonna give up. And if I can do that, even if it's just one person, my life is meaningful. So it's important that you share your story every chance you get. Don't be afraid. Some people are like, girl, she always talking about how she went back to school at 25. She always talking about this. You doggone right. Because if I don't tell my story, guess what? Somebody else gets to narrate my story, and it may not even be the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
How you gonna tell my story for me?
Right.
I'm not gonna let you narrate my own story. I'm gonna tell my story, and I'm gonna tell it the way I want it to be told. So every chance I get, I'm gonna share it. And I want other people to do the same exact thing, because God has been too good to you for you not to share. All the tests that you've been through, that's your testimony. The mess that you've been through, that's your message. You gotta make sure you continue to tell that story. So whoever it is that may be feeling like, I don't wanna tell it, I'm afraid, I'm ashamed, whatever it is, figure out a way to share your story, because somebody somewhere needs to hear it.
The test is your testimony.
Yes.
And your message, your message.
Yes, hallelujah. You know, my dad is a bishop, so it's in me. I be trying to control it sometimes.
So we know you have gigs while you work at the school. So is it a big transition mentally to go from a gig to being a teacher?
Oh, good Lord, yes.
Why Morris Brown?
Oh, okay. So first thing first, and this is no shade to my student here. It is a huge transition from going from just Miss Basketball into Professor G. Because as soon as I walk on campus or walk into class, it's oh, Miss Basketball, I saw what you was doing on Instagram. And I'm like, no. Like, no, it's Professor G. Like, I had to correct you. Like, it's Professor G.
No, you didn't. Remember
Yes, I did.
I said you did Christina, y'all.
See,
Like,
see what I mean? See what I mean? You see what I mean?
yeah, she did correct
He
me on
totally
that,
missed the whole thing.
Yeah, right.
Totally missed it. So this is what I have to deal with in class with my students, because they see one thing, which is the same, but you have to have some decorum when you're on another level. When God bless you with a new level, you got to have some type of like, you know what? I got to make sure I set the standard so that they can respect me. Now, I don't think they wouldn't disrespect me or whatnot, but because I'm in this space now, right? And I am so outgoing. I'm always dancing. I'm always this. In order to be in this room, especially at Morris Brown, with students who are already dealing with so much. Let's just kick it real. all these Morris Brown, Clark, Spelman, and Morehouse. You have a lot of students in this whole AUC area that are dealing with a lot of different things when they come to class. And the last thing you want to do is be a professor that is trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to be so holier than thou, for one, or so friendly that they don't understand how serious it is. So I try my best to be like, you know what, let me just stay in this middle ground. You're going to call me Professor G. I'm going to be relatable because I want you to understand what I have to say. But just know it is very hard for me to turn this Miss Basketball off because that's me. But I want you to understand how serious this is for me to be here because I could be somewhere else. I could be working, making money while y'all don't want to do the assignments.
I took my midterm.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like that's what I have to deal with because now when I come into class and I have students that don't want to do the work, after I had to sit here and be like, well, I was going to be here on time. Baby, if I got to be here at 9 o'clock a.m. and I'm not a morning person, you got to be here too. Yeah. So I have to figure out ways. It's like I have to be disciplined. I have to change my whole entire schedule, which my schedule is made on me. Now my schedule is dependent on them to make sure that they're getting to work, to make sure that they're engaged and they're excited to come to class. I have to figure out ways to get them excited to do the work. So I'm changing my mindset. When I walk into class, I can't be so friendly and outgoing and I got to be stern, firm, and like, did you do your work? And why didn't you do your work? We got to have a conversation. Because if I got to sit here and make the assignments and change my mind flow, when I could just be letting these checks come and going doing these events, but I got to be doing assignments and checking them, you got to be doing it too. So I have to change when I come into Morris Brown. And the question that you asked, why Morris Brown? Why not? Mm-hmm. Morris Brown came to me. I met Dr. James 2-3 years ago. He's such a vibrant person. He's so vibrant. He reminds me of myself because he real quick and he's vibrant. His energy is just always the same. And when I met him a couple years ago, he says, "Hey, Miss Basketball, girl, man, I love your energy. I see what you're doing. You're doing so much in esports. Hey, wait a minute. Ain't you like the first African-American female to be a sportscaster for HBCU Esports League?" I said, yeah. He was like, so we're doing a hard reset at Morris Brown. It's a hard reset. So we're going to do an esports program. We're building it. We're building the lab right now. I would love for you to come in and teach. I said, yeah, right. Like, me teach? No. Absolutely not. Get somebody else to do it. Like, I'm not a teacher. I didn't go to school to teach. I went to school for business. This is what I'm doing now. He's like, no, your expertise and what you're doing in esports and the way that you've been able to navigate through it, our students need that. And the craziest thing, and this is why I chose Morris Brown, wasn't because of so much Dr. James. In last year, and this was 3 years ago when I met Dr. James. And by then, this is the third year. I think it's about going on the third year that they've been building the program. But I was honored to be a panelist on a panel for Revolt Summit. You guys heard of Revolt Summit? Yeah. So it was a gaming panel. So at the end of this gaming panel, which I was already amped to be there, because I'm like, ooh, this is great. I get to talk about esports. I get to talk about what I'm doing. And then it's on this big panel with all these famous people. And I'm like, yay. And at the end of the panel, one of the producers comes and says, hey, can you read this paper? It's going to be, can you just read it verbatim? And that's going to be it. Y'all, this is how God works. So the lady gave me the paper, and I'm sitting there reading, and it says, McDonald's and Revolt is honored to partner with Morris Brown College to give them $20,000 toward their esports program, blah, 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 blah. I'm just reading this, right? I don't know nothing. I'm just reading. So keep that in mind. Fast forward to a month later. The panel was already done. It went great. I get a phone call from Revolt. It's like, hey, we need a host. We're doing this, we're doing a show at Morris Brown, and we would love for you to host it. And I was like, well, what is the show? They was like, we're revamping the esports lab. And I said, where? I was like, at Morris Brown. I said, oh, okay. He was like, can you host it? You're going to be our gaming expert. And I said, all right, what y'all paying? You know, I'm like, what y'all paying? They're like, all right, cool. So I saw the numbers. I was like, I'm on my way. So I did it for 3 days. And when I got there to Morris Brown, I met these amazing students, right? So when I met the students, I was like, so I'm just getting feedback from them, like what they want to see in the esports lab, why they go to Morris Brown, why they're so involved in esports. And as I started sitting there listening to them, I'm like, I see what Dr. James was talking about. And then being part of that whole process, getting their feedback, not only hosting it, but being involved in the process, I was like, dang, that's dope. And then here comes, no lie, the episode comes out. Here comes Dr. James. Hey, girl, how you doing? So, we have a position open. I would love for you to teach a class. I was like, Dr. James, when the class is, man? I said, I am doing. He said, man, I know you got a lot going on, but we can figure it out. We can make it work. I said, how can you make it work? He's like, trust me, just trust me. Matter of fact, I got it. You can teach hosting. I say, what? This is what you already do. We're gonna teach hosting. That's how. If y'all met Dr. James, he talked real fast like that. And I'm like, Dr. James, all right, just let me know. So in the fall, was that fall? Yeah, in the fall, I thought that I was gonna be teaching. Then I was like, all right, I'll figure something out. I'm doing desk hosting. Dr. James come back, he says, oh, well, we're not doing desk hosting anymore. I was like, okay, so what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? He's like, I'll let you know. I'm gonna get everything together and gonna do the paperwork and blah, 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 blah. That's how fast he talked. So I was like, all right. I was already doing other things. Like, my plate was already heavy, so I didn't even worry about. Fast forward to October, this episode is out. They're pumping it everywhere through all social media. He comes back again. He says, hey, so we got one in the winter coming up for the next semester. And I said, okay. Is it hosted? He's like, no, it's intro to team management. I was like, what? I was like, what? He said, no, it'll be great. You're going to be great. You're going to be fine. Everybody's excited. I done told everybody. I said, you what? I told everybody. I said, okay. All right. And then when I came back on campus and I met the students again, and they was like, so, Miss Basketball, what you doing? And I was like, what you mean what I'm doing? We heard. I was like, how y'all heard? What? Y'all want me? They said, we'll take your class. I was like, you're right. But then I went on ahead, I signed on to do it. And being the first day on campus, I was just so happy to be there, to just have the students just be so excited to see me on campus, because if you're in esports, you're gonna see my face. But to have a direct connection to esports, a direct connection to NBA 2K League, which a lot of the players, like some of the students, they really wanna be professional players, to have a direct connection and then to be connected to Morris Brown, I'm like, I gotta be here. I started changing my scheduling around. I started making sure that I'm in class at 9 a.m. on Monday and Wednesdays, because it's important. It's important. Like, representation is so important. Students need to see people. Right. Mm-hmm. They need to see people that in a position to where they want to go, or they possibly could want to go. Because how could you know if you can have a career in esports if you don't see nobody that look like us? If we never saw Obama be president, we're like, man, ain't no black person gonna be president. We have to see it. So I've been so blessed to be a part of Morris Brown, not just through the esports program, but just in the whole, because honestly, like Dr. James said, it is the hard reset. And I get a chance to be a part of legacy. That's what I'm most happy about. Not just the esports program, but just being a part of legacy, so that when I die, right, somebody somewhere will be like, you know what, she was a part of making Morris Brown better. Mm-hmm. She was a part of inspiring these students to say, hey, you know what? I'm choosing school today. I'm choosing me today. I'm choosing getting an education today rather than worried about all the outside stuff that's going on. And that's because Miss Basketball or Professor G encouraged me to do that. So I get a chance every Monday and Wednesday to inspire a group of kids, which is all men, to do that. And it's only right that I do it at Morris Brown College, because we are the only college in the state of Georgia that has an esports lab and an esports program. Damn! So I'm excited. I'm super excited. I mean, why not Morris Brown? You might as well go ahead and come to Morris Brown. How you doing?
At the end of the day, when you go home and you self-reflect, what comes to mind?
Ooh, that's a good question. When I go home at the end of the day, and I'm gonna try to do this because I'm an emotional person. I'm always in tune with my emotions. But no,
if you want to go there, go there. We'll
no,
go there.
I honestly, I just reflect on how unbelievable my life is, and how blessed I am to wake up every day and to choose happiness, right? To choose to get up and be an amazing person every single day. Like, soon as my feet hit the floor, well, sometimes I be laying in bed till like 2 o'clock. But as soon as I open my eyes, I know that God has a purpose on my life. And I keep seeing these confirmations, or people keep reminding me on the days that I feel really, really low, right? Because sometimes giving so much energy, you don't have people pouring back into you. Yeah, like, and you can't pour in others with an empty cup. So on those days to where I feel really low, when most people don't even know about it, because I carry it well. To whom much is given, much is required. So I have to make sure that my energy everywhere that I go is good, because no one deserves my bad energy. But sometimes I have bad days. Sometimes I feel depressed. Sometimes I feel lonely because I don't have family members up here in Atlanta. Right. So I reflect on how good God is to me. Like, I can only talk about how blessed I've been and how far I've come. Like, just thinking about in college, thinking about in high school. Matter of fact, thinking about just 10 years ago when I was graduating college. Who would have thought that my life would be like it is now? I didn't plan it like this. Now, I had an idea, but every single thing that I said that I wanted for my life, God has had a weird way of giving it to me, and then some. And most of the time, I have to take moments and I just cry. Like, that's just me. I'm so thankful, because if I die right now, honestly, I have lived an amazing life. I have done some amazing things that I know people, I know I have inspired 1,000 people. I know I have encouraged thousands of people. And I know that my life has been meaningful. But I just have those moments to where I just take a moment and I say, God, I thank you. Lord, I thank you. Like, my hands shake when I think about all the things that I've been through. And the crazy thing that just gives me chills, I'm just scratching the surface. Like, I'm not even my best self yet. I'm not even like who I'm so super, super supposed to be. Like, I just get so just emotional because I'm like, dang, God, you so good to me. If you did this, I know you're going to bless me with something else. I don't know what you got cooking up, but I know it's going to be good. I've watched it. I got fired from V103, the biggest radio station in Atlanta. And it crushed me. And I thought, like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. How can I be up here one day and the next day I'm down here? And in between that next day, in between 24 hours, I had to go host a whole LeBron James documentary for Sierra Cannon. And people were on the carpet singing my praises. Oh, girl, we love you on the radio. Didn't even know I got fired. And I had to sit there and hold it together. And there's videos and I have tears in my eyes. And I'm like, how can I push through that? So when I have those moments, I go home and I reflect. I look back at that. I said, well, God, if you brought me through that. And I even made a video of it. I made a video, and this, don't y'all do this, don't post it on Instagram. But I made a video of me crying the day I got fired so that I could remind myself that it won't always be like this. I said, in a year's time, my life is going to be so much better. That's what I said in my video. God, whatever you're doing, I know it's going to be better. I don't understand it right now, but I know you got something great in store for me. Fast forward to a whole year later, almost to the exact same date. Baby, I wasn't even tripping about this station. I was happy that I had the opportunity because I was bitter. I was so bitter for so long. Because I'm like, why would they do that to me? But it had to happen. Sometimes elevation requires separation. And sometimes God has something greater in store for you. It's like, y'all ever seen the picture of the bear when, like, God is holding the bear and the kid is like this? That's me. And I had to learn, if I continue to trust him, he will give me the desires of my heart. So when I go and I lay down and I start reflecting, I think about those different moments. I think about all the things that he has done for me and how he's been able to just keep pushing me forward. Every time I get a new job or new gig, it's always like, nah, in the world I got that. But that's God. And that's because he believes in me. And because I believe in myself. And I understand that every time I thought I took a loss, he blessed me.
Oh, that was beautiful. You could have kept going.
Okay. I was starting crying.
Me too. That's what I'm about to say. I see myself in you in so many ways, from your vibrant spirit. I'm a church girl. I'm a GPK. So
yes!
I get it. And just seeing how when you said something that struck a nerve, most times I consider myself the strong friend out of my friend group.
Yep.
And my friends often look up to me because it's like, I'm a Cancer, so I get emotional. I'm not about to cry on this camera.
Me,
Don't
just
be
look,
good.
I'm a Capricorn, I'm emotional, so.
Okay, so my friends consider me to be the strong friend
Yeah.
because I'm always doing something. You know, I'm very active
Yep.
at school, outside of school. So it's like most times, you know, we can be down, and it's like, well, just from my personal experience, no, Chrissy, stop.
Yes, Chrissy.
Yes, Chrissy.
You know what's so crazy?
Okay, so-
My nickname is Chrissy.
Oh wow.
My mom, my family called me Chrissy. So I'm already connecting with you. Like, it feels like, if you're trying to say this, it feels like you can't have a bad day.
Yes.
You can't, there's nobody checking on you. There's nobody, hey girl, just checking to see how you doing. It just isn't, because you're always the strong fan. You're always checking on everybody else, or you're doing so much that I've learned that people, they may think, and they go to social media, and that's one thing that I hate now that I'm getting older. Don't look at my social media to check on me.
Yeah.
I do a great job at curating my social media.
Right.
I share what I want y'all to know. While I'm sitting there happy dancing, I'm literally crying my eyes out because I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm sitting here crying my eyes out because I have to be strong in the next 10 minutes because I got to go to work. Life keeps going for people like us.
Yeah.
We don't have time to slow down and try to process it all. The only way we can process it in our alone times where we just cry. That's honestly what I do. And sometimes people are like, don't be weak. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cleanse, to just cry it out, because we're strong people.
Do you ever
That's
have
why.
moments where you just don't have any more tears to cry? Like, 'cause you know they say the strongest people fight the biggest battles.
Yeah.
And it's times where you just cry and cry and cry to a point in time where you just don't have any left to cry or give.
I'm gonna always have some tears. I'm gonna always have tears. But one thing I do know, I am so blessed to have a very supportive family that I don't have to tell them exactly what's going on. They will speak life into me.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't need much. Like, we don't need much. We just want people to see us.
Right.
Like, ooh, Jesus. Most of the time, I just want people to see that I'm just like you. I cry, I laugh, I'm mad, I'm sad. I just want people to see me, not see social media, not see NBA 2K League, not see the girl that's always vibrant. See me, like, presently. Like, if I feel sad, hold me. Give me a hug, not me be on the other hand. And oftentimes, I don't have that. So I have to, like, be as strong as I can and be as positive as I can and psych my own self out. And I sometimes give hints to, like, my family or my close friends and be like, ooh, girl, today drained me. Like, you know, I have to, like, make a funny joke or whatever for them to understand. I'm like, let me just send her something. Because honestly, we're not allowed to have a bad day because so many people are dependent on us. So many people feed from our energy that we just gotta get the energy or the encouragement from somewhere. And sometimes I don't have that. So I see you and I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly how you feel. And honestly, that shit is hard. Excuse my French. And I normally don't curse, but it is very hard. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, girl, you got this.
Remember what you
God
told me
got you.
today? Put it on paper.
Yep, I do. And I told, like, we were having a conversation because I wanted to make sure I have a conversation with him because I was seeing him. And I said, whatever it is that you got that's on your mind, that's bothering you or you want to do, write it out. I have a notebook to where I write stuff out because, baby, we know, especially us women, child, dealing with these men's, right? Or it could be guys too, right? Or if there's a situation or opportunity that you thought you were supposed to have and you just knew you was going to have it and it didn't work out in your favor, you're like, what in the world? This is going to sound crazy, but I do stuff. I be like, God. I physically, verbally talk to God. Bro, you ain't see me?
You gotta talk to her like that.
I was like, what? That was for me. That was for me. I worked for that. But I had to remind myself, Christina, God got you. He didn't forget about you. So I write it down. Because for the most part, again, most people don't have time to listen to my issues because I'm the strong friend. You can't be the strong friend and be the weak friend. How does that work? And honestly, it don't work. So you have to literally psych yourself out, write it down. All right? Oh, these niggas tried me today. And I talk just exactly how I feel in that moment is how I write it down. And then I turn on some music. It's going to sound real crazy. I turn on some music and I start singing. And I will act out whatever I want to say to whoever I want to say. You got me messed up. Like, I do that to psych myself out, to put me back in a good mood because it never fails. God will send me a sign, or somebody will send me a text message, or I jump on social media and it'll be a message. I appreciate how amazing you are, all the things that you do. Like those small little nuggets. That's all. Sometimes that's all I need to just put me back in alignment. It's like driving a car on 4 wheels, right? You know, if that one of them tires mess up, you out of alignment. And sometimes all you need to do is just put one more tire back on there. You back in alignment. So I just try to make sure whatever it is that I'm feeling, I write it down. On those days that I feel like, you know, I'm sad or whatever, I go through those emotions. I'll cry it out if I need to. I'll scream if I need to. I'll go play basketball, be active. Talk to God. God! Like, I'll do all of that because we also know emotions change. Energy changes. So you have to be in control of that. And if you need to, write it down. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be looking back at it like, I cannot believe I felt that way. Clutch my pearls.
Man, I just love everything you telling us, man. You pouring it into us. And what I really love about what you said was when you felt like you pouring everything out into somebody, sometimes you just got to give God thanks. You know what I'm saying? And that'll fill you right back up.
Yeah, because it could be worse. I used to hate when my mama said that to me. Yeah. Like now, you know, y'all younger now, your parents be saying some of the most craziest stuff to you. I be trying to tell my mama about what happened. Baby, it could be worse. God got you. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that right now. I want to go upside the head. Listen, have discernment, control your emotions, because God got something better for you. But mama, why they had to do me like? Trust me, your time is coming. And now that I'm older, I see that. Sometimes I still get a little mad when things don't go my way, because it's human emotions that happens. But it's gonna work out. Like, it has no choice. Think about it. It really has no choice but to work out. When have it ever not worked out? As soon as I change my mindset, as soon as I change my energy, it's gonna work out. So I encourage everybody that I come in contact with, regardless if they see my energy, right? It's like, oh my God, I love your energy. I love how amazing you are. Blah, blah, blah. I always want to encourage them to be who they are, right? And to understand that it will get better. Whatever you're dealing with, God has not forgotten about you. He won't forget about you. Because if he did it for me, my little hard-headed, talkative, class clown, I hated school. And now I'm a whole professor teaching. God will literally do it. Like, he will do it for you. Even if you don't believe in God. I'm telling you, something will happen miraculously in your life that no man can explain.
Ain't nothing too hard for me, is it?
I'm trying to tell you. And it'll blow your mind. Like, bro, who did that? Which one of y'all did that? You just gotta have that. So I encourage everybody, like, just be authentic, be yourself. Understand, like, whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, you are not alone. You are not by yourself. You're gonna get through it. And God, he not gonna forget about you. Hold him accountable. How we hold everybody else accountable? I know that sounds crazy, but hold God accountable and watch him work in your life. As soon as you start changing your mindset, he gonna work it out. Like, I hate to be super, super spiritual, but everywhere I go, I try to encourage people, like, trust me, it's gonna work. And then we're gonna be dancing again, throwing that thing in the circle.
Well,
take us out.
Well, Miss Granville, Professor G, Miss Basketball,
And Abby.
Christina. She a lady of many hats, y'all. It's been a pleasure having you here. I can't believe I'm interviewing my professor right now. This is crazy. But my bad. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm interviewing my professor right now. Like, anyway, we thank you so much for coming and taking a busy. She got a busy schedule, y'all. I can attest to it. But we just want to thank you for coming to our creative cohort, seeing what we have going on, and just like being a part of it. Hopefully, you know, we can utilize you for more resources and, you know, helping us get the name out there. You know, just
And let me say, I am honored, honestly, to be in y'all presence. Like, you guys are the future. And I know that sounds so cliche, right? It's like, we are the world, we are the world. But no, you guys are pushing the culture forward. The faces that's gonna change the world looks exactly like y'all. And I am so blessed. I'm about to cry. What is going on with
It's
me?
crazy.
Jesus.
Like, this is my professor, y'all.
Lord, but I am so blessed when anybody reaches out to me and say, hey, can you come talk? Hey, can you speak? Hey, can you do anything? Because I'm like, me. When I used to be like, why me? Right? Now I'm like, why not me? So I'm so honored and blessed to be in y'all presence in whatever way that I can help and be of service and a resource. I want to do that because I didn't have this when I was in school. I know old people always say that, but I didn't have this. And to have a collective effort, all on one accord, on the same page, working together for a greater good to make sure that people hear your voices. Y'all are telling stories that nobody else is telling. And then you're telling it in your own way. I am honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to help you guys in whatever way I can. And honestly, just to be here, I am honestly blessed. And I pray that you guys continue to understand how valuable each of your voices are. Like, don't ever sit at a table and not have anything to say. Let your voice be heard. Don't ever walk in a room and be shy and be humble. Be bold and be loud. Show them who you are. Share your story, because somebody somewhere needs to hear it. And I'm just happy that I was able to do that with you guys tonight. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
I made it through. I didn't cry.
Rock it coming, 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 rock it coming.